Okay, so let's see where we are in our application, and currently we built 3 objects. So if I get to this place, you can see that the ones I marked green are the ones we've completed. So if I go to this page and go to countries, we have states, we have locations as well. The locations is saying new states, but it's okay, we'll correct it. And I also, in location, I added edits, I added details, and I added delete, which you already know. Okay, so now we are going to talk a little about inheritance. So these objects I've marked as yellow, they are the ones we are going to do at the same time. So they are objects that inherit from common objects. So what am I saying? If you go to our application, and you go to common object, you can see common objects have ID, description, and details. Okay, that's fine. And if you look at these items I highlighted in yellow, for instance, vehicle make, you can see that it inherits from common object. You can see inherit from common object, and also vehicle type, vehicle models, status values, job titles. So this one highlighted in yellow inherits from common object, and they are very, very easy. The reason is because they are made up of only 3 fields: ID, description, and details. Okay. So I added the getters and the citers manually here instead of using Lombok, just for you to see how it works. So basically, I can use location to actually achieve that, because if you look at locations, location has ID, description, and details. Let me see, is it location or something else? Let me see, the location HTML. Let's see. So let's go to location HTML page, which is here. We have ID, description, and details. You can see. All right. So it means that from location we can actually create all these other items: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are going to create them all at once. So let's get started. So we are going to do this real fast. If you are joining for the first time, subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. If you also have any challenges, please let me know. And you also have this code in my repository. You can find it in the description box on my website. And also like and share this video if it's been informative for you. So let's close everything. And let's now open all these. Let's start with the services. We have vehicle make, vehicle type, models, status values, employee types, job title, and status values should be actually invoice status. So let's open all of them. Let's start with the services. I'm going to go to services. We are going to be using location service to do this. All right. So we are going to open vehicle make, and the next one is vehicle type. Vehicle type is this one. The next one is vehicle models, is this one, open. And the next one is vehicle status. I call it vehicle status service. Okay. And the next one is job titles and employee types. Job titles and employee types. Employee type. And then we have invoice status. Invoice status. So we are going to copy the service from location, and then we are going to use it there. So I'm going to copy from location, copy. So copy and paste, and then let me just paste everything before I start replacing. Paste here, paste here. So we are done with all the services. So I'm going to just close everything. I think we are done with all the services, but you can see list of countries. Maybe you can just, this is just comment, so you can just correct it. So I'm going to close everything, and let's now go to the controller, save. So let's now go to the controllers at this time. So I'm going to go to the controllers folder, the controllers package, I mean, and let's open location controller, and from location controller we can create other controllers. So let me display the navigation so that we know what we are doing. So let's start with vehicle make, vehicle model, vehicle type, vehicle status, job titles, employee types, and invoice status, yeah, here. So let's use location to also do that. So I'm going to just do this. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to, now we only need only one item to be auto wired, the particular repository we need. Because in this case, we have location service. Location contains state and country. For these items we are editing now does not contain state and country. So we only need to use the list of items for that particular object. So I'm going to paste this. I'm going to paste it all the place. Then later I'm going to now make the editing. So I'm going to paste here as well. Okay, so now we've replaced almost everything, but there's something you need to know. The items that has the value that has status. For instance, we have this invoice status. We have a status has to contain an e, so it has to be statuses, and it has to be statuses. It also has to be statuses here, and so return invoice status. So that is fine. Return redirect. So I think we are on track, and so here we also have statuses. Oh, why do we have state service here? Okay. So I forgot to do this. So I'm gonna just okay. So let's just take out two. Actually, we don't need any of this, or we only need one of them. I should have known right from time. So we have. So this is going to be list of location, list of, for this one, list of invoice status. So at this point, we've completed working on the service and we've completed working on the controller. If you want, you can take some time to cross-check to make sure everything is okay. So at this point, I'm going to close everything. I'm going to just close all. So at this point, we are going to be working on the HTML pages, and then we're also going to be working on the JavaScript files. I would like us to first work on the JavaScript file before we work on the HTML page. So let's go to the JavaScript files. So I'm going to open the location JavaScript. I'm going to open the location JavaScript, this one. And why it's good, you can see there is details here, so we have what we need. And again, I would like to keep the page open so that we know exactly what we are working with. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy it. Also take note of the name of the script always starts with a lowercase, or it can be camel case because the first letter on the name has to be lowercase. So let's start with vehicle make. I'm going to right click and just say paste and say vehicle make, and I'm going to paste again vehicle type, and we continue in that way until we do all of them. So we have all the JavaScript. So it's actually, take note that it's going to be it's going to be singular. So I'm going to refactor it, changing the name to employee type. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to just close the location. So let's open all of them. So starting with vehicle make, type, model, and status. Vehicle make, vehicle model, vehicle status, and vehicle type. And we have job titles and employee types. We have job titles somewhere here. So at this point, we are going to remove what we don't need. So we are going to remove all this. We don't need them. So just take them out. And the same thing goes here. We don't need country, state, address, and city. We don't need them. Okay, so this is all we need. So how about copying all the content of the function and pasting it in other ones? Let's see. I think we can do that. But you have this location here, so it has a problem. Okay, we are going to make the change. So let's just go here, take out. So it's supposed to be 7 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Invoice status. So we are done with the JavaScript, except that we are going to be changing the location now to the correct item. So instead of location here, we have vehicle make. So I'm going to say Control F. Location changes to vehicle make. I'm going to just replace all. Okay, so in this case, location changes to vehicle model. Alright, so the JavaScript files are ready. I'm going to close all of them and then let's go work on the HTML pages. So I'm going to close all, and let's open up all the HTML pages and work on them, and then we are done. I think I'm opening the wrong one. So. So on my clipboard now, I have the content of the page. That is the table and the buttons on the page. I'm going to just replace it, put it in between page start and page ends. So I'm going to just replace this, Control V. The same goes for invoice status. So the next thing we want to do is to copy all the models and also paste it there. So we have the model, the add model, the edit model, and the delete model, and the details model. Delete model, add model, edit model, and details model. I'm going to copy the 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just copy everything. So copy, and I'm going to just go to the end just before the JavaScript and paste it there. And one more thing we need to do, we need to add the script file. So I'm going to just copy this and paste. And I'm going to change this to employee type. And this one is going to be All right, so the final thing we need to do is to change we need to now change the name of the entities or of the models. Here we have employee type. It seems okay. No, it's not okay, because instead of employee type we have vehicle make. So I'm going to replace employee type with vehicle make. Control F. Employee type with vehicle make. Replace find. Replace find. Replace find. Replace find. Alright, so the next thing we want to do finally before we test the application is to go to the invoice status. So we have this, we are going to change it to SES. So invoice status to invoice statuses. Invoice status to invoice statuses. Okay, I'm going to replace all. Replace all. And vehicle status to vehicle statuses. Vehicle status to vehicle statuses. So I'm going to just replace all and I'm going to close. At this point we are done and we need to test the application, and most likely we may have one or two errors, but we are going to correct them. So this employee type, I'm going to also find it and change it to vehicle status. Place all. Okay, so okay, so I'm going to test it now by clicking on run. Let's see what we have. Let's hope it doesn't give us so much errors. I hope maybe it's going to give maybe one or two errors. I don't know. I hope it doesn't give. It's going to start up, I hope, but when it comes to running it, that is what I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see. What am I doing? I'm running it a second time. Okay, no problem. So at this point, I can now mark these ones to green because we have done them. All right, so if I go to vehicle makes gives us error. Vehicle makes gives us error. Let's try another one. Vehicle types gives us errors as well. Okay, so let's go back to the controller to fix this. So the problem is coming from the. Meanwhile, if I go back to use a camel case, so instead of vehicle type, I say vehicle types. You can see that it works, right? So it's just to fix the camel case in the controller. So that's I'll do after now. Meanwhile, I think we should fix it before we continue. So let's go to the controllers. Again, let's display the items we are working with. So we have vehicle make, vehicle type, vehicle status, vehicle model, vehicle make, invoice status, employee type, and job title. Okay, so you have this camel case here. That is where the problem is coming from. So, and this is, let's see if I check in my. So let's see. So they expect a camel case, right? Good. So the problem is that in our navigation we don't have camel case. So so we have the navigation here. We don't have a camel case here. So we can actually change it. So that I leave up to you to do. Just change up the navigation bar to camel case and copy it across again. So now we can do this manually. So let me add a new vehicle type. Sedan. Nice sedan. I don't know if that's the spelling. It's nice sedan. I'm going to add, and it added perfectly. As vehicle type edits. So edit vehicle type actually fails. Yeah, edit vehicle type fails. All right, so I'm going to stop here. In the next part, we now correct all these errors that we are having from here. So I'd like to thank you for viewing. Remember, if you've not subscribed, subscribe. And also leave me a comment if you have any challenges whatsoever.